Math is the language that encodes our reality. From math, we can discover the very limits of our universe from only a few general laws. Usually, we go from math to science, not the other way around. Hello, my name is Silas Rickards.
I'm Tirta Bhattacharya.
I'm Grace Chang.
I'm Joshua Vallon.
I'm Zach Webb.
And this is not the usual suspects, our way to tie in the physical properties of knots to those in mathematical knot theory.
To begin, a knot is a simple, closed, polygonal curve in R3. Knot theory is the study of these knots and their possible transformations without one part cutting through the other. The two main types of knots are prime knots, which cannot be simplified or unknotted further, and composite knots, which can be written as a sum of prime knots. There are several applications to knot theory. For example, it can be used to determine mechanical stability, test effectiveness of AI designed to emulate human dexterity, and to unknot DNA. The goal of our project was to construct a table mapping physical knots to existing mathematical knots using Reidemeister move proofs.
Concerning our methodology, we will be taking 12 physical knots and then tying their ends together in order to create a mathematical knot, which basically doesn't have any free ends. And then using Reidemeister moves, like Tirtha mentioned, we will be subjecting the knot to manipulation and deconstructing it into a prime or composite mathematical knot, which will be compared to in the table. And at the bottom of the left side, we have 4 mathematical knots we're looking at. Specifically, note the top line hitch and the bowline over knots, which we will be comparing in our knot proofs.
The bulk of a knot proof is made up of the 3 Reidemeister moves that we've mentioned earlier. The first Reidemeister move is when you twist a strand to make a loop or untwist a loop to return it to a strand. The second move is when you move a strand over or out from a loop. And the third move is when you move a strand over or out from a crossing of 2 other parts of the strand. So the proofs here are constructed by the part of the knot that's being affected is highlighted in brown, and then the number over the arrow shows which move was done to do this step. And these are in the middle we have 2 proofs of the taut line hitch and the bowline over, transforming them from their physical form to their mathematical equivalent. And then we have our completed table of all 12 knots on the right. We'd like to acknowledge Frank Swenton of Middlebury College, who developed a software called KLO that we use to generate the diagrams that make up the proof.
As for the results from our research, we've connected the physical knot with the virtual. We found the equivalent prime knots that were obtained from physical knots, and the 2 numbers indicated next to the prime knot give the number of crossings and index number respectively. We can apply the connection of physical knots to prime knots in order to analyze topology and the geometry of knots in conjunction with elastic properties and physical strings. Additionally, biology and knots can be connected by examining bacterial genetic material and operon management. There is a bright future for these knots. Hopefully, we ironed out some tangles for you. Thank you for listening to our presentation.